Hi, Hannah Nandor here. In this video, we are going to look at how to create and use rubrics using Schoology. I'm going to make my video go away. There we go. Okay, so I have here a lab that my students will turn in. And let's say I want to give them a rubric instead of just random points. So if we go to Edit, so down here at the bottom, the default for the scale rubric is always going to be numeric. But depending on what your organization has made available, there might be other scoring scales available. So there's some SRG ones in here. There's one for our Career Center. Numeric is just your typical, you get 39 out of 40 points. There's also down here rubrics. So it saves rubrics that you made. You can also make a new one. So I'm going to show you what this looks like to make a new rubric. So you'll obviously want to give this a title. So we're going to call this test rubric. You can change the grading scale if you would like, and that's going to change your point values here. Or you can just, it basically leaves it as a numeric grading scale. So you can put in your criteria. So we're going to make this criteria, let's pretend that this is a lab one. So let's make this claim. So you can put whatever description under here. So a claim is a statement, so on and so forth. And then you can determine how many points it's going to be worth. So if you hit the plus, then it's going to add a number. You can also hit the X and it goes away. So you can make these whatever you want. The default is 1 to 4, but if you want to make this, I always like putting 0 in if you're truly going to give a 0 for something, for a certain category. So you could do 0, 2, 4, 6. You could do 0, 1, 2, 3. You can do whatever order you want. I would highly recommend that if you plan, so right now this is 0, 2, 4, 6. If you plan to give a 5, put 5 in, okay? And so if you click in between the two, it automatically updates to give you that in between. So let's say if I wanted there, I might give a 3. So there, oh, that one didn't, that was weird. Okay, so there's 3. And then if I wanted to, there's my 1, and then there's my 0. You can also change whatever descriptors you have under here. So if you want to tell them to get a 6, students must whatever. So you can fill all those in. Once you've made a criteria, you can add in another criteria. It automatically copies whatever was before in terms of the point scale. However, it does not have to be the same. So let's say this next one criteria is 0 to 2. Okay, so you can take cells out and it only updates that one. So then you can update whatever content you want here. Let's call this evidence. And you can put whatever descriptors you would like there. It automatically adds up your total available points. So as you add criteria, it adds all those up that are available for students to earn. And then you can also reorder them by dragging them up or down if you decide you put something in the wrong spot. You can reorder those as well. You can also add in learning objectives if you want to use a learning objective. So let's just go grab one. And then it auto populates there, and then you can set whatever grading scale. So what that does is that copies in the learning objective language, and then you can set whatever points. So maybe you want it to be just like a yes or no. So you might give 0 and 1. You can add, as far as I know, I have not hit a limit on criteria, so you can add as many criteria as you'd want. Just like with any rubric though, whether you're making it in Schoology or not, you want it to be reasonable for your students. So keep that in mind. I am going to go ahead, if you want to get rid of a whole criteria, it's all the way over on the side where it's points, and it deletes that criteria row, and then it automatically updates your total points down here. When we're done with that, you hit create, and then it automatically aligns it. Instead of aligning to learning objectives, it gives you it basically counts your criteria as the learning objectives. So if you want to align it to something specific, you put that in your rubric. And you can go in and edit the rubric if you would like. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. It automatically updates your total points to reflect whatever the rubric says for total points. If you want to edit it, you just click the little rubrics button and it gets you the rubric editor, so you can go back and you can adjust that there. You can choose whether or not to show your rubric to students. I always show my rubric to students. I don't know why you wouldn't, but maybe you have a reason to not show the rubric to your students, but you can select or unselect that there. And then you hit Save Changes, and then it automatically puts in and aligns the rubric for each student. And so then when they open it up, since I said that they could see it, they can see the rubric listed there below. And then when students turn things in, you'll be able to click on the rubric and you can click each of the boxes and it automatically adds things up. You can also override scores if you'd like to. If you forgot to add enough points to something, you can always override that if you'd like to for the individual students when you're grading something, but you don't have to. Let's see if it will let me. Yep. Okay. So I have 2 of us already added in here just as test students. So let's pretend to grade something here. And so I can just click each of my scores and it automatically updates. Let's say that I forgot. I really want this to be a 1.5, but I didn't put a 1.5 category in. I can type in a 1.5. It doesn't select a cell, but I can type that in and it auto updates the grade here. If I put in a comment, I can type a comment to my students and I can always go back and change and it auto updates as it goes. So then when you save, it saves the grade. You can type in an overall comment to your student here, and you can choose to show it to your student. So let's say here, I mark these. So this is a 3 out of 8. I can write individual comments here to my individual students. So this would be a good place that if there are common comments that you're going to give, either using key shortcuts or having a list of comments already typed out that you can just copy and paste is going to make that really fast. If there are standard comments that you're likely to give to students, same for over here. You can type in specific comments as well and then hit Save Changes, and those are the grades that students will get. So I like rubrics. You can use them for actual digital submissions. You can also use them if a student is going to turn in something physical to you. So if it's a physical copy of something, a project that they may not necessarily turn in digitally, you can still set it up and use the rubric. Rubrics make grading really, really fast, especially if you were going to use one anyway. It's really easy to just click the individual buttons and it automatically adds everything up for you. It makes it nice and easy for students to see what you're going to be looking at. So rubrics are a really good way to break down higher point assignments. And it's nice that they can be embedded into Schoology and then they do some of that work already for you. So if you have any questions about using rubrics, let me know. Feel free to contact me.